Hello my friends and welcome, my name is Dennis and this is the latest update from Ukraine, but at first let's speak about the United States politics because it's the topic number one worldwide. And what a lucky sandwich Trump really is. Damn lucky, I'm gonna show you today. And yes, there was the attempt to eliminate Donald Trump, ended up with boosting his rating and this interesting iconic image. By the way, I streamed the situation about this event on my channel, so thank you guys for participating in my live stream. I'm not gonna show you all of the videos because of this platform restrictions, but here we have the other perspective. So before I saw the video just from the front side, but here is just from the back. There's the shot and yes, the poor cameraman job. So why do I say that Trump is damn lucky? Well, you may understand it yourself that the ear is very close to the brain. But moreover, he tilted his head right before the shot, and here you can see it on this video. So he's staring at some spot, and right before the shot, he turned his head. Okay, here's the slow speed, slow motion. Here he stares, turns, and there is the shot. Oh my god. So it could have been like that as we see on the upper picture, but ended up like this one on bottom picture. Wow, it is such a coincidence. So definitely Trump has his, I don't know, angel guard or something. I'm just out of words how to describe it. My friends, if you like the job that I do here on YouTube, you might also consider supporting me on Patreon. The Patreon page is available with my personal link in a video description just below. Thank you so much for your motivation. Then YouTube cancels monetization. Well, I could have analyzed the situation myself, spent lots of the hours for that, but this analysis has already been done, for example, by the Military and History channel. I'll post his analysis in the video description just below. This YouTube expert definitely did a great job analyzing the case. He digged down to the papers of Assassin, telling that he was the member of the Republican Party, kind of interesting. Nevertheless, he donated to Act Blue initiative, which is democratic, I think. He probably managed to find all of the photos from this case, and here we can clearly see the R-15 style rifle. I think that is the semi-automatic rifle, and here probably we can see the scope. He shows the map and everything, so this is Donald Trump. He was staying on the stage. Here's the counter-sniper team, and there was the assassin. Plus the eyewitness of BBC, so BBC interviewed some of the local guy and he said that they pointed to police that someone is climbing the roof with a rifle. So for now it's the greatest conspiracy theory around the case of why police didn't react and why counter-snipers aimed towards the shooter but were not engaged until he started shooting Trump. Well, the answer according to this guy is very simple. They already spotted the shooter before it was the suspicious target. They didn't see him properly behind those trees, and the counter-sniper team 1 actually turned to that direction right before shots started, because they received the signal from police and from the other secret service that something suspicious is happening. So definitely police reported that thing. That's why counter-snipers were so successful in eliminating the threat right away. But definitely they should have reacted before the shots started, because unfortunately bullet hit one of the visitors. He was a fireman, the chief of the fire department as far as I understood. So the name of the guy was Corey Comparator from what I understood. Sorry, maybe I misspelled that name. It is definitely a huge loss, and it doesn't matter whether he is Trump supporter or Biden supporter. He is the American citizen. He served for his country as a fireman and as a chief of the fire department. He saved lots of the lives throughout his career, I'm sure about it. And he didn't ask anyone who needed help whether they vote for Biden or they vote for Trump. From the information they say on Twitter, he had 2 of the daughters. So it is definitely a tragic case. Plus 2 of the other spectators were delivered to hospital with severe wounds, as medical reports say. And this is the shooter, Thomas Matthew Crooks, probably one of his younger images. Now he had the long hair, But still he looks kind of strange and nerdish, I would say. And he doesn't have any sort of the military experience. So I don't believe that someone would hire for purpose this guy to get rid of that big political figure. Just look at this guy. So I believe it was his personal idea to perform this stuff. But what was his motive probably we'll never know, because this guy is cold. But it shows that there is the huge hatred in the United States internal politics. I mean, both of the sides, they do hate each other, and sometimes the hatred rhetoric is really strong. So it might force someone to act like, for example, this guy who probably has some sort of the problems with his mind. In fact, the politician environment politics are guilty of that stuff in general. Just look at the United States politics. I know 15 years ago, everything was more than polite by the time compared to what is happening nowadays. There's the total hatred. And the problem that the American society is divided. I was shared by the videos that the most hatred is coming from the MAGA side, but I do not agree with that either. There are also the videos published by the Democrat supporters that how they condemn that this guy didn't aim to the target. And definitely it is inhumane. You may have different attitude towards politician you don't like, but wishing him or her death, well, it's too much. It's below the human level. Even Joe Biden condemned the attack, saying that it shouldn't be done in the United States. From what I understood, he spoke with Donald Trump and wished him the fast recovery. That's how the things should be done. Plus, the President of the United States ordered to provide the maximum security measures for Donald Trump. Let's listen to his speech.
Security. And I've been consistent in my direction to the Secret Service to provide him with every resource, capability, and protective measure necessary to ensure his continued safety. Second, I've directed the head of the Secret Service to review all security measures for the Republican National.
So not just for Donald Trump, but in general, those security measures should be reviewed. I think it's the good step. Unfortunately, it's not the first assassination attempt of the United States president. Those happened before many times in the United States history. Sometimes, unfortunately, even successful attempts. And a couple of more words about the case. Well, this guy is definitely unprofessional. And this guy aimed towards Trump's head from the distance of 130 meters, 130, 140. The professional would never do it. They aim towards torso, because head is kind of small relative to torso, especially in Trump's case. Yeah, there could be some bulletproof vests, but usually good rifle hits and penetrates that. Maybe not R-15 from that distance. So the choice of the weaponry is also strange. The strangest thing is for me that the guy was wearing the merch of one of the YouTuber from the channel Demolition Range, and that channel is about weapons. So here's the shirt he was wearing, the front side, and this print was on the back side. So now definitely the case plays in favor of Donald Trump support, and it is not the Donald Trump support map. No, it is the Ronald Reagan support map back in 1984. Then there was also the attack conducted on Ronald Reagan. So definitely there will be the boost of popularity of Donald Trump. He was leading the race actually according to any sort of the polls, but now obviously he will increase the gap with Joe Biden for sure. And we see how people bet their money, so after debate, clearly Joe has much less chances compared to Donald Trump to win, according to those who like this political gambling. And I think Joe Biden and Donald Trump will run this campaign till the end, and the end, unfortunately for Ukraine, will be for Donald Trump. Why unfortunately? Because Donald Trump brings absolute uncertainty, or moreover, there are the signs from his team and from himself that he is willing to stop the military support of Ukraine completely. In that case, Ukraine would struggle against the Russian aggression, and there is just a tiny little chance that Trump might even increase the military support of Ukraine, because there was the information that if Russia hesitates to sign the peace agreement with Ukraine, Trump will support Ukraine even more. But what kind of the peace agreement that might be, well, we are out of clue. Probably he would insist on Ukraine trading its own territories for temporary peace with Russia. So I'm afraid of that. That's why Donald Trump doesn't look great from my perspective. Well, what Ukraine should do right now is to establish dialogue with Trump's team, because there is pretty much high chance for them to win now. to explain and try to open the mind of Trump to see the real picture of what is happening, because he still lives in his parallel reality, thinking that it's just some sort of the small conflict, local conflict, and by trading Ukrainian territory, he might establish good communication and connections with Russia and Putin. Well, it is just impossible to do. And you know, some say that it was just a fake, Trump put some ketchup on his ear, but no, it was a real case. Guys who say that it is fake just put more points to Trump. And in general, Trump's reaction was firm. He put his head down after he realized that it was real shooting. The Secret Service agents just covered him with their bodies. It's their duty, actually. And after there was no more threat, Trump just rose his fist, surrounded by security agents, and that led to this iconic photo. Well, not really a long time ago, there was the Ukrainian president Yanukovych, who was also tagged. Probably it was in Donetsk or Luhansk, I don't remember. Well, he went from the bus, he was delivered there. The security service agents were all around. And here, the moment he was hit right into the chest by an egg, and he immediately started to feel bad. He fell down. But it was just an egg. Yeah, sorry about the video quality, it's the best one I was able to find. By that time, Yanukovych was a prime minister. He wanted to become the president, but he failed his campaign to Yushchenko, who became the president. He put Yanukovych again as the prime minister, and after all, Yanukovych became the president after Yushchenko. So in Ukraine, the political situation is just crazy. And after this case, the egg became the symbol of the resistance against Yanukovych. Yeah, guys, definitely today internet was overwhelmed with the Trump's news. So sorry I have to speak about this topic as well. Again, not a big analysis from my side, just my personal opinion I have to say about it, because this is also influencing the situation in Ukraine, as I mentioned. Alright guys, let's go briefly to the latest updates from the front line. Russians continue to run away from Vovchansk. They're just leaving their positions in panic, and Russia tries to send more reinforcements. New Russian soldiers who are unaware of what is happening on the ground in Vovchansk, and this place for them is just the hell on earth. After the recent Ukrainian counterattack out there, the Russian soldiers were just panicking and leaving their positions, recording said videos. Everything is bad there. Keep your husbands, keep your brothers. Don't go to Ukraine, don't go to this war. It is just terrible. Wow, who would have thought? Yeah, clearly this guy did a mistake going to Ukraine. And definitely, even according to the sources of the Institute for the Study of War, Ukraine has the successful counterattack vector, I believe towards the local hospital in this place, which was the main Russian base in this particular area. So Russians had to withdraw their forces from this district, which is awesome, and now they're crying. But in the other places, unfortunately, Russia continued to dominate, like for example, it happened in Novoselivka, Persia. Again, they moved towards this village, but today I think it was just a great no. They moved also with the red area, occupying this forest line. So there is the threat for Novoselivka, Persia from 3 of the directions. For sure, they will occupy this village. And later on, they'll try to get to this lake. Still, Ukraine hasn't attained all of the weaponry from what I understood. That's why it continued to lose the ground. Also, Russia expands a little their bridgehead near Ocheretine towards Progress, for example. They move just a little through this road, but not significantly. And if we go to the south from this area, you see that they are trying to occupy Yasnobrodivka. So it is the recent update. Soon they'll also occupy all of this territory, reaching those lakes. The Russian attack towards New York freezed for today, but they moved towards the Lizne. So it was yesterday and it is today, unfortunately. Their idea is to occupy Toretsk, and they may do it from New York and also from Sumy. As you see, the tactics for Russia is the same. They advance with their gloves, so with 2 attack vectors. That's how they did it in Soledar, that's how they did it in Bakhmut. Probably one exception was Avdiivka, where they took the town from 3 of the directions. But we know that the situation on the ground in many of the directions is not good for Russia. For example, recently they tried to advance using the China-made golf carts, and all of them were stopped by the Ukrainian FPV drones. I wonder why they continue to do the same action again and again. It is called, as far as I remember, a madness. Yes, the Russian bots would say yes, they have losses, but they take the ground. But the price of it, the price is just, it is just absurd. Russia is wasting its resources like it is nothing. Any army, even the Russian one, is unable to continue like that for a very long time. No, soon they're gonna stop and will be only able to defend their gained territory. Until some moment, then Ukraine will get enough resources for its own advancements. If we check out statistics for the Russian losses, it's just crazy. More than 1,000 army personnel per day. Just imagine 1,200 people, 1,200. On the big Russian parades, you might see around 8,000 people, and they occupy all of the red square, and here 1,200. So those are the Russian losses per week, and I think it's not the full picture of the red square. And also you can see they're quite compact in those formations. Guys, it's just a meat grinder, and I don't understand how Russians go to Ukraine. Really don't understand. Is it some sort of the global mass destruction action of the Russian people? Because really there is no ideology in Russia like it was in the Soviet Union, for example, communism. Okay, people were dying for Stalin, for communism, but now what's the reason? I mean, how Putin could explain Russians that they need to go and die? Well, the only reason I see that Russia lives in total poverty outside Moscow and St. Petersburg, so people just go to army to earn fast cash. That's the only explanation I have. Russia and China started the common military drills in Southeast Asia. The Navy military exercise will take place between Hainan and Shenzhen. So it is some sort of the game between China and Russia. They show how they're willing to support each other. Because China attended the military drills in Belarus, and now Russia sent their navy to Shenzhen. Quite a unique footage showed by the Russian side how they use FAB 3000. So 3,000 kilograms, 3 tons of the TNT is in that bomb. The bomb itself is very, very huge, as you can see. Nevertheless, it is able to glide for a very long distance with the help of this module on the top. Russia continued to master that technology, and now those bombs are really precise. Well, actually, those kind of the powerful bombs do not really need to be very precise because they demolish everything around. Just with a single strike, they might eliminate several of the buildings in the area, or maybe a single quarter. The FAB 3000 is definitely the most devastating weaponry Russians use. And it's very difficult to shut it down because there is no thermal trace. It just glides. There is no engine which is moving this construction. So for the air defense missile, it's hard to identify this target. So the only way how to cope with those gliding bombs is to eliminate the launcher, the airplane itself, whether on the ground or in the skies. For this, Ukraine should get the permission to use the ATACMS missiles on the Russian airfields, and there should be a massive attack, one single but massive. And you know, according to the latest information and the signals coming from the president's office, maybe we're getting closer to that permission. Right, according to the recent information, Ukraine still communicates with Sweden about the Gripen fighter jets transfer. So the information that Kiev ceased those negotiations is wrong or even fake. Yeah, obviously now Ukraine will concentrate to do everything to apply F-16s into Ukrainian Air Force to make all of the system work fine, but later on we're gonna see if Ukraine receives many more of the other types of the fighter jets like Mirage 2000 or Gripen. And now my friends, please don't forget to press your huge like to this video. By doing so you help me a lot, and as usual I wish you all a peaceful sky wherever you are and have a great time.